This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements. Bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37. This is the No More OGs podcast. I'm so grateful to sit here and speak in front of you. You guys, this is the only podcast that's redefining the culture and showing you real life people doing real life things that's making real life change. Well, listen, I got somebody today, man. Oh, man, this dude right here is an amazing brother. I had an opportunity to interview his brother. Go check the link below and you'll see that interview as well. It probably just popped up on the screen. But man, this is the second half of a dynamic duo in a family-owned business. This is a gentleman who I've had the pleasure of working with Real Youth Mentoring, putting on events, teaching kids about the trucking industry. But this is also somebody who has dedicated his life to teaching young men, specifically men who are not going to college and men who are coming back home from the penitentiary, how to get in the trucking business from a legit standpoint and from a longevity standpoint. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some and produce to others my brother, Mr. Marcus Blue Collar CEO Jones. What's good, man?
How you doing, man?
You like that intro, man?
Yes, I love it, man.
Man, I ain't telling you was from Funky Town. You know, you got Dallas and you got Fort Worth over here today, man. You know, normally, we don't come together a lot. You know what I'm saying? But when we do, we make some magic, right?
Yeah, well, most of the time we ain't got no need to come together.
You know what's so funny about that, man, is that I explain to people who ain't from Dallas, so they always think that Dallas-Fort Worth is one big place.
Yeah.
And I have to explain to them, Dallas is a city, Fort Worth is a city. There's over 100 suburbs in between or connecting the two of them together. Like, this is a metroplex. This is the 5th largest metroplex in the nation. And Dallas niggas and Fort Worth niggas don't really fuck with each other like that.
It's like totally opposites. That's what people don't understand. We are totally opposites.
Literally.
How we move and how y'all move, we just do. It's like oil and water, man. We not getting along.
It's literally oil and water. Man, I was joking with somebody and telling them that, I didn't go to Fort Worth. I would say between the ages of 0 to 30, I only went to Fort Worth like 3 times. And literally 2 of those 3 times, I was just passing through, going to go visit my cousins who were in prison, in Wichita Falls or Pampa, Texas, and West Texas, So we would pass through Fort Worth. And I was always fascinated with Fort Worth because even as a kid, I saw there was so much opportunity in Fort Worth that I feel like a lot of people were overlooking, specifically black folks. Mm-hmm. But as I've gotten older, I actually fuck with Fort Worth a lot. Like, it's still so much opportunity, but people sleep on the proximity, one, to Dallas, but to the access to airports, access to logistics, access to the oil field. We'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. Like, Fort Worth is like a hidden gem. And I think TCU is about to put Fort Worth on the map just from a standpoint of, where is TCU? Oh, that's in Fort Worth? Where is Fort Worth? And then you notice, like, when these big games come here, they don't even be in Dallas no more. They're set up shop in Fort Worth for like the pregame show and stuff like that. We'll talk about that, man.
I call it Big Rich Fort Worth.
Yeah. Big rich town, huh?
You really don't understand it if you're not from there. If you don't understand that's like it's the quiet wealth in Fort Worth. It's more of a it's not flashy, and it's just different when you look at it. When you look at Dallas Fort Worth as a whole, from a logistical standpoint or even like an economical standpoint, most of the people that own oil and gas, they live in this area. Most of the people that own cattle live in Fort Worth and they live in the surroundings of Fort Worth. So they do business in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And you look at some of the stronger corporations and some of the landowners that actually own the land out there, they live in Fort Worth,
It's a dynamic that a lot of people look past. I'm on the record saying that Dallas is the home of the $30,000 millionaire, because Dallas is a flashy city. I don't know how we became flashy. I guess that's that whole Big D mantra. But a lot of people out here, they don't really have it like that. And like you said, in Fort Worth, man, you'll walk up on somebody in some old cowboy boots, some Wrangler messed up jeans, a flannel shirt, and that person be worth millions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different setup in Funky Town. The older I get, the more I appreciate. It's a little bit slower than Dallas, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's country and it's city, so it's kind of like it's what I love it because it doesn't allow we don't get caught up into a lot of the stuff that a lot of people in the faster cities get caught up into, but we just as fast, but we don't we're kind of country too.
Now you're right, and then y'all have the same access as Dallas, specifically like with the airport. Y'all can get in and out.
I mean, I come to Dallas and go to clubs and go to little places, and I get right back out.
You get right back out of town, man. I never forget when I first we were somewhere, and you was like, "Yeah, man, I want to bring you out to my truck, yo." And I was like, "Where is that?" You told me. I was like, "Damn, all right, well, let's get out there, man." We got out there. GPS said it was like 40 minutes, but it seemed like we got out there real fast. And when I went out there and we set up shop and we did the event for the boys, I was like, people sleeping on this. Like, this is a untapped market, specifically for black people, but just in general, a lot of people sleeping on that. So let's talk about that, man. You know, because you're in the trucking business, and you have a family-owned company. In fact, you got most of your family into the trucking business, man. Talk about your plight. Talk about how you even got into the trucking business, because you didn't go to college right after the high school. Huh?
Well, I did. I went to Prairie View A&M for 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. I failed out. I was doing
down there,
everything PV.
You down there partaking in the
I enjoyed Prairie View. I enjoyed class. I didn't go to class at all. But all the other stuff that
you was on that yard.
I was with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a high ratio out there, as I would say. So
wait a minute. Let's park. I spoke at PV last year. It's like 25 women to every man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you say high ratio, we talk on here, y'all. My wife watched this. She understands. We talk business, right? And even in those settings, in education settings, you don't see a lot of men in there. But when you go to a place like PV where, you know, it's away from home, you have access to things you've never had access to. If you don't have the discipline in that moment, it can be a big distraction.
Well, I didn't have a discipline, and college really wasn't for me. Like when I look at my grand scheme, I used to tell my uncle that he kind of forced me to go there. He went and bought like all the furniture and everything for my apartment. He was college. I said, I don't feel like I'm gonna make it in college.
It wasn't your dream.
And it wasn't lined up. Cause it didn't line up with. I get in class and I get bored, and my mind, my imagination is running, and I want to do some. I want to move. I want to be about action, and it wasn't never really serving me in that area.
Nah, that's deep. That's deep, because a lot of times I feel like a lot of our, not even so much as our parents, but people that see promise in us, they try to take us down the road that they went down, and that's not necessarily our purpose. And so we spend a lot of our good years wasting time on something that wasn't for us, man. Can you talk about that?
I told my uncle it wasn't for me. Pursue my dreams, and in 2018, I paid him $70K just to run my dispatch office.
Whoa! No! You're not passing that.
That just lets you know that I had it wasn't for me.
So the same uncle that was telling you, man, you need to go to college, do this. You say 20 years later, you're paying him.
2018.
You're employing him. A salary job, or let's just say it's a income that really surpasses the average salary job coming out of college.
He was a teacher, and he was a coach. So once he quit doing that, and he came up here to take care of my grandmother around the time, you know, I gave him a job, and he ran my dispatch office. He was my manager. He made $70K that year. So
this was really a family business.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, because you left college. You're 21 years old, right?
20.
About 20. And 21. You understood that you had a purpose in life. You understood that you came from a hard-working family, that you came from people who had values, that you knew that there was a greater scheme for you, in the sense of knowing that there was something bigger for you. So you chose trucking.
Well, it kind of trucking. You know, I read the book Think and Grow Rich, and trucking kind of just, you know, I'm visual. I'm a visual person, and I'm riding down the highway. I still look at trucks to this day to see what's on the road and see what the economy's doing. I gauge trucking in so many different lights, but that's neither here or there. But the reality of trucking is that it was always, I always seen a lot of them, as I seen more and more of them, my imagination started to run. And before I even got my CDL, I was thinking I could run 100 trucks. Because Think and Grow Rich has a part in there where it tells you like your imagination. It taps into your subconscious imagination and your imagination. And then in there it tells you where you need to like spend 10 to 15 minutes. It's somewhere in there where you got your eyes closed and you're visualizing you doing the business or what you're doing. And I used to do that a lot before I even had my CDL. And ultimately you start manifesting this, but you don't necessarily see God don't ask you. He don't show you. He don't give you the how. He just wants you to believe. Once you believe, he shows you the how. You know, and as you continue to move forward, that's how you manifest that thing.
All right, so now listen, you said something there. You said I read this book, and I'm a visual learner. I see things, but then you start talking about the importance of daydreaming, like the importance of manifesting through thought, through constant images of seeing, hey, this is possible, and I can actually be a part of this equation.
That's really the blueprint to continue in your business, to actually building a business and continue. You got to know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like I do that daily. Like I don't think it's a day out of bed when I'm not like imagining something happen or imagining me taking something over or something. I'm still like I got 20.
You're on your pinky in the brain shit.
Like,
huh?
right now I got 20 trucks in the oil field right now. I'm manifesting the next 20, so I can have 40. I already got a goal to have 50 before May. So I'm manifesting that right now. And I manifested the first 20 back in May of last year. So all I'm doing is creating in my mind, doing what God did and speaking it and allowing the universe to take hold.
Why don't you feel like people do that?
Because we haven't found we haven't found our identity. Everybody's trying to make you be something you ain't, or it's always somebody trying to pull you in this influence, and you don't really get to know who you are. When you grow up, when you older, when you're young, your mother telling you to do this. Everybody's trying to like give you some kind of identity, and so your identity is you finding out who you are and your true power. If you're creating God's image, you have a true power. And when you look at it, we all are unique. So you just got to find what's your uniqueness and actually know that. And once I realized like my thoughts run my life. Once I realized that, from writing stuff down and it actually coming to fold in my life, I realized even when I'm in my worst moment or I'm down, my thoughts still run my life. So I control how the outcome comes. You know, because if he said, I'm creating his image, then what am I? You got to believe that. Then you find your uniqueness, and you're able to will stuff, man. I believe, bro. I've retired my mama. I done put on. I ran 180 trucks in a white man's oil field, and they still love me to this day.
No, man. That's powerful. That's super powerful, and I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like two things. One, you said that people are always trying to make you into somebody else. They're trying to get you to force. They're forcing their dreams on you, and it's similar to what you said about your uncle saying, "Man, you need to go to college," but that wasn't your dream, and you were in turn able to provide income for him based off of your dream. But man, you said you thought about having 20. Now you weren't thinking about having 40. At one point, you had 180. Like you literally built your business from the ground up. Just by following a blueprint.
Yeah, and mentally I'm doing it again right now. So, pandemic, we had 65 units before pneumatics. Pneumatics in my game is starting to phase out. It's an older. So, what now we're doing is boxes, and we're doing hopper bottoms, and we're doing other kind of aspects for there's a 1-box system and a 2-box system we're doing now. I wasn't even in that game in 2020 at the pandemic. Because of my relationships with which are worth way more than money, I was able to make phone calls, and now they talk. And because I believed in myself, and God had the bigger factor in that. When my friends call to get me into a door or something, Oh yeah, Marcus done ran 180 trucks, this and this and that. It's already there. So and then when they get on the phone with me, I'm talking with conviction. Cause I done seen it, I done did it, I done held it in my hand.
That matters, and a lot of times what happens is when a person's online scrolling through, looking at their news feed,
Yeah.
and they're seeing people who are talking about you can do this, you can do this, you can do this without any social proof. Then they see a person like you who's actually done it, but because
Still doing it.
and still doing, but because you're not. At least now, you're starting to get out of your shell now. But in the past, you didn't want to be seen. You didn't want to be on social media because you understood that the real stuff was happening over here. I think that's that Fort Worth mentality, right? Not trying to be seen, trying to be felt. You know what I'm saying? Like people will feel your presence, right?
I think I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it before the app was even, you can hit a like. So I was groomed by old school trucking men. They were in their 60s when I started in my early 20s. So mentally, I kind of like was already gone. When I tell my brother all the time, I say, man, if I was able to record 18 to 20, oh my Lord, if I was even in that space of thought process at that time, we had my partners running the well, like didn't even know how to do oil field. I took him, put him in the oil field, put him with one of my other partners, and they were running the well. Yeah, we had a lot of good stuff going on, man. God has been really good in my life. He's shown me so much. So I'm really, when I deal with bad or hard times, I just understand it's part of the process.
A lot of people don't really value the process anymore, though, Marcus.
And that's why they're gonna lose. They're entrepreneurs. See, they're not businessmen. I'm a businessman. That entrepreneur, he just want the bag. He just want the money. Businessman want the relationship. The next 20 trucks I told you I'm gonna get. That's our relationship. I don't even know the people that's gonna walk me in the door, but I got a person that I know that's talking on my behalf because of our relationship and what we've done with each other. And he owed me favors. And not only he owed me favors, when I get in the door, I make him look good even more.
It's a balancing act, and that's what the relationship gives you. A relationship is way more important than anything else. And like you said, man, that was deep. You said they're entrepreneurs, they're not businessmen.
Yeah.
Dive into that a little bit more, man. Like, what's the difference between the two? Like from what you see on social media, because there's a ton of entrepreneurs out there.
An entrepreneur, he has what he's gonna do. A businessman knows exactly what he's gonna do. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Businessman knows he's going, he got schedules.
Entrepreneur has the idea of what it is. The businessman has the reality of what it is.
And he's been hit in the face many times. Been punched in the face many times by being an entrepreneur at first.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, man.
Right, he becomes the businessman. Until he start getting in relationships right, he know how not to burn bridges. Until he start getting it right, then these things start to take place. And he can make phone calls and make moves. And then until he start getting it right, he know he gonna have a bad day one day. If he ain't if you're an entrepreneur, a bad day on an entrepreneur is just there's no relationship tied to that. When a businessman has a bad day, he can make a phone call, and there's either he can get some money, or they're gonna necessarily say, he's not. Mark just had a bad day
because of the relationship. Because a businessman knows that everybody has a bad day.
A businessman does things that entrepreneurs don't do. You know what I'm saying? Like yesterday, I was at the Mavs game with my customers. Like I'm a businessman. I'm gonna find out what he really like.
Yeah, that was the. But when I had them season tickets, those were some of the best client meetings ever because you can sit down, you can relax, you got a good seat.
I done took some of my customers to meet Jerry Jones. Took some of my customers to meet Zeke Elliott. We went to the game. I've been able to take people and give them an experience, and that creates more of a relationship. That you gotta understand.
A person never forgets the experience.
Yes,
they never. It's the relationship. It's like the restaurant theory. If you go to 100 good restaurants, you might tell one or two people. But if you go to one bad restaurant, you're going to tell everybody you know because you don't want them to experience that bad experience, right? And a lot of people in business don't understand that it's relational.
And they're not patient. They want the money. That's where you become an entrepreneur. You're not patient with the process. You see, I can make $1 off him right now. But instead of, if you're smart, you'll see the relationship. I can see a star going. I can see a star finna shoot. So I'd rather have a relationship with that star before you shoot off.
Shit, that's why you're fucking with your boy.
Because then I get in more rooms. Then I get in more rooms to start more relationships.
No, that's real. That's real.
And in those relationships, there's gonna be something I don't know, and somebody gonna say, "Hey, do it like this," or I'm gonna meet that one gym person that I need to meet, and that's gonna tie me into another thing that string me to more relationships. And you never know where you'll be at in life.
Well, let's talk about that, because in the process of finding those relationships, you stumble across some people that be on that bullshit, don't you?
That's part of the process.
How do you handle that? Because what I see a lot of times, especially on social media, people feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, Marcus, people feel like that everything should go their way 100% of the time. They shouldn't take no licks. They don't need to bump their head. And the moment some shit goes sour, or the moment some shit happen, one time, they ready to just blow up. They be going in on people on social media talking shit about them. And I always sit back and be like, man, you're not only burning that bridge with that person, but you're also burning a bridge with somebody who's potentially been watching you for a while, thinking, man, I should work with this person. But now you don't face some hardship, and now you get on social media acting like a bitch, talking about everybody ain't shit. People do me wrong. It's just like, that's a part of the game. That's a part of business. Why do you feel like people struggle with that, man? And why is it so important for people to understand that when you're in business, everybody ain't for your business, and some people are just people that you can leverage the relationship to get to that next level.
That's an entrepreneur again. That ties back into it. A businessman doesn't have emotions, bro, like that. That ties back into him being an entrepreneur. You want everybody to like him. I'm not gonna hate on you or wait on you. I'm a businessman. I'm not doing that one of them. I don't care. For one, I'm too busy on my business to think about your business, to even think of how you trying to live in your life. I'm not on that. And for two, I'm too busy in my business to wait on you to get to what I'm doing. So there's no way I'm doing that one of them. I'm not hating no waiting on you, bro.
Hey, you know you too. You know you too, though, right?
And I'm strong in me.
Yeah.
And when you know yourself, you don't put up with the outside stuff, because I got too much I'm manifesting right now.
Yeah.
So how the hell I'm gonna deal with you when I'm trying to manifest greatness? When I'm born for greatness? When I am greatness? So how the hell do I deal with if you're not helping pour into that cup? I got to move, bro. You
know what? I heard this analogy today, and the lady said, Tim, when a rocket takes off and goes into space, there's certain propellers that once that rocket reaches a certain height, they fall off. That fuel tank will fall off. Certain components of that rocket has to fall off in order for that rocket to reach its final destination. And the person said, if people would understand that as it relates to business and as it relates to relationships, a lot more people will be successful, because they're being loyal to the wrong interests. But another thing is they're trying to take the wrong people with them to that final destination, and everybody can't go with you.
And that's cost me millions in my life, but that's a part of me learning those processes, bro. That's a part of me being a businessman, understanding that. That's a part of me making sure I have processes and systems together. You know what I'm saying? The entrepreneur, I'm just trying to make some money. I'm just trying to make some money. I got 5 hustles. I haven't mastered now one of them. I'm jack of all, but master none. And I don't care about relationships, because I'm like putting little things in incubators and hoping one of them pop, like the lotto. That's not. Businessman foresees his first. I can foresee the next, honestly, the whole year. I honestly can, but I don't want to get too deep into that.
No. You don't have to get too deep. I know what you're saying, because in the business, you have to plan. I always look at the beginning of the year, and maybe I'm cynical. I know somebody might inbox me and talk some shit. But at the beginning of the year, I started getting invited to these vision board meetings. And again, manifestation is being able to see what you want, believe what you want, manifest it, right?
Yeah.
But the other part of that manifestation is the work. And I don't ever go to those vision board parties, because what I've found in the past is that it's just people cutting out a bunch of shit from a magazine or printing off a bunch of shit and saying, I want this, hocus pocus, boom, I'm going to get it because it's manifestation. And the part of that manifestation is that what you visualize will come to you, but then what do you do with it when it shows up? And so many people don't understand that there's a 2-part system to that. Yes, I can close my eyes and manifest, but when that phone rings for that opportunity, I can't sit on my ass and expect for the opportunity to work itself out. That's where I come in. That's where my feet have to start moving.
Yeah, fake how it works is dead. Like, how do you How do you pray to God for something and don't be prepared for it? Like, what kind of person is that?
Shit, it's a lot of people, man. I had a partner one time that
What you gonna get? So yeah, faith without works is dead. But I always say, every seed sown is not as like sometimes you in your business. I remember when I first started, I was just trying a lot of stuff, throwing stuff at a lot of stuff. But it was in my trucking, and it was. But those were seeds. I was planting relationships that didn't last. But those still were seeds. Those still were seeds, and as long as I continue to have the faith and continue to exercise that same energy, I found my relationships. I found what I needed. You know, I wanted when we in 2017 we wanted to run. I wanted $1 million well a month.
You have to talk about that. What's a well?
An oil field.
An oil field. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. I know sometimes people watch us and they may not understand the jargon that's coming across, but we're gonna get into that, y'all. He's gonna explain what all that is. But you said you wanted $1 million well
a month. Yeah, and we manifested, and I had 2 of them. And we're doing 1.5 a month. So that's a manifestation. I asked God for 100 trucks, wrote it down, couldn't even drive a truck. He's God. He made it. He pushed 180 of us. He's God. He can't. If I let you hit 100 and you stay there, you God. I gotta go over there or not even let you hit it.
I see what you did. I see what you did
you know
there.
What I'm saying? That's how. I just been blessed, bro.
All right.
Me and my brother have been really blessed. My family's been able to benefit off our blessing. We're still chunking at it right now.
Let's talk about this trucking gang, because I had your brother on. And trucking and real estate have a lot in common. And the reason I say that is because the barrier of entry is extremely low. Consequently, you get a lot of nigga shit.
You do.
You get a lot of people that show up to the party and they want to win immediately. And I say nigga shit because I deal with my people mostly. Yeah. But I'm talking to everybody. You get a lot of bullshit. Niggas a mentality, not a race.
This is most definitely a mentality.
It seemed like the trucking gang, based on what you see on social media, is the closest thing to the dope game and nigga shit that you'll ever find, based on the perception of the people who control the narrative, man. Speak on that, because that's your industry. And I know sometimes you sit back and you think to yourself, nah, it's more to it than this.
No, that's true through and through. It's because of the barrier of entry, because it will allow felons to actually get a second chance, which is great, because you could just get a CDL and start and become an entrepreneur. It allows a lot of that stuff in there. One of the beautiful things that I've been blessed with was my brother has an MBA in business and masters, and then I was a frac hand in the oil field, and I've been a leader the whole time. I've always had a business since I was 23 years old, so I've always I always understood business. So I was an entrepreneur in this thing for a while, right? So what I've been blessed with is he's been financially illiterate, so we don't blow the bag.
Literate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's been financially literate, so we don't blow the bag, right? And that's important. That's like what you have to have, right? And what I'm saying, because money will come into the business, it will flood into the business. But I'm not financially literate as he is.
Do you feel like that's a reason why? I think that's the reason why a lot of people come into real estate and fail. Because they don't understand the financial aspect of it. They don't understand the investment that goes into it. But then when they do get the bag, they blow it. Like, they're living for that commission check, and then they get an $8,000 commission check. And instead of going out there and putting that money aside to buy property, because being a real estate sales agent is not the long-term play. No disrespect to the realtors. I have a real estate broker's license. I employ realtors. But if you're really trying to have longevity in the game, the longevity comes through the investment. And I feel like in real estate and even in trucking, people jump out there too soon without bumping their head. An agent in real estate will get their license, and then 3 or 4 years later, wherever the state tells you have to wait, they'll go get a broker's license, and then they become a broker and they fail miserably because they haven't been through the fire.
I was one that jumped out there. I never drove for nobody. I worked in the oil field. But as far as driving a truck for somebody, it was mine. Cashed out. I made my money in the oil field and I bought the truck. I learned. But you didn't start in the oil field as a driver though. No, I started as like starting. I got my CDL at Tarrant County, Precinct 1 in Fort Worth. But I didn't do nothing with it. But I knew because that was my, I call it my manifestation years. Those years where I really was like writing stuff down, reading a lot of books,
laying the foundation,
like really really believing it. And then I lost like $20,000 in like because I had a janitorial business on the side, and I lost $20,000 in trying to invest in it, and I got finessed on some technicalities, business technicalities, and I asked God for a second chance, and I ran into one of my friends, and he was in the oil field. I knew that was what it was. I'm gonna get in here and get my money right and get my truck.
So you didn't start off as a driver. You started off as what?
A frac hand.
What's that?
A frac hand is a equipment operator in the oil and gas industry. This guy, he knows how to drive the truck from well to well, pad to pad. He knows what's going on. He helps rig the pad up with iron. He helps bring in the equipment to help do the fracture in the well.
Okay. All right. So doing that, being in that position, you got to look around and see, wait a minute, there's many components to this game.
Well, in the oil field is it's a business where if you pay attention, it's so many things going on that it's like got a lot of money to do with it that you can find your niche. It's niches inside of niches in the oil and gas industry.
Speak on it.
My first time I was in the oil field, I was a fuel hand where I was just running around fueling, making sure that all the pumps didn't run out of gas. Diesel. They told me if they run out, you're fired. So and every 3 to 4 hours, I had to go and make sure they were full. And then I chilled the rest of the 3 hours. I was in the back of this little equipment room playing NBA 2K and shit. Like I was. Like it was like,
Yeah.
Like you don't think the oil field is you work and then you get on a pad and you sit there.
It's like being a firefighter. Like you got your time on, and then when it's downtime, it's downtime, right?
Yeah,
off.
But you're making money.
Yeah.
And so the reality of it is when I walked out one day and there was a company man. He made about $50,000 a month. Company man. He was like company. When I say he probably worked for Chevron. Just so give people. But he's out there
Corporate guy.
consulting the well, making sure that the fracture is going right, making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. Right. He's the guy that says don't do that, do this, bring the pounds of pressure up, put a little sand right here, put chemicals. He does all the consulting of the well so the well can come to the maturity that they wanted to in the pump life. And the pump life in oil field wells, each well is like 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
Or longer.
Okay.
Depends on what they're doing.
So you saw that. Then what made you realize that, hey, I can transition and actually, be in the truck side of it?
Well, I worked my work ethic. I worked up where I became, after a fuel guy, I became the line boss. But now I'm telling the crew what to do, where to put the iron and how to line it up. Then after that, I became the supervisor. I worked the blender, which is knowing how to like blend the sand, the chemicals. Then I worked the hydration. So I got all of these elements of knowing what's going on out the side, and then I start treating. Treating is when you're sitting in the data van and the company man is telling you to bring the oil, the sand up, or he's telling you to go chemicals. He's telling you how to actually treat the well.
How long did this take? Like you learning all these spots, how long did that take you?
About a year, because
Whoa. Pause for a second. You did all that?
Yeah.
In a year?
Yeah, because what you got to understand, so we're out there for 14 days on, 7 days off. In some cases. In this case, I was on for 8 and off for 4. Sometimes I stayed out there and worked my 4. So as you stay out there and you work. They start knowing who they can trust and depend on. It's all about outworking them.
Which goes back to those relationships.
It's all about outworking people too. Like your work ethic is going to be seen regardless. Regardless in life, it's going to be seen. You can't hide it. You can't hide it in some areas in life. I don't believe you can. You either going to be
this going to be a deep episode, bro. This going to be a deep episode. That's going to go over somebody's head and somebody going to pick that up.
Yeah, it's going to be seen. So once you do that, you're able to. I'm good with people, so you're gonna be able to build up, and they're gonna look into you as a supervisor. So I start treating the wells. So I'm treating the wells, and we're running production sand. The sand is coming in through pneumatics. We have a horrible crew. our equipment is raggedy. Like they need to go buy a whole frac crew. We break down every day. These guys sit out here barbecuing. They haul the sand to us, barbecuing, chilling, no smile on their face, everything. I'm like, so I'm past these dudes every day. I know we ain't even put the well in production in 3 days. They sitting out here happy. They gotta be making money. When the well does go in production, they move so fast, 2-3 loads. I see the same truck moving in and out. So they got. What are they doing? What are they doing? What they know? I don't know.
What's that over there?
So I'm a supervisor. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the fraction. I'm gonna use the business to the business. I'm gonna go holler at the HR. I'm gonna go holler at accounting. I'm gonna find out who's employing these trucks, and I'm gonna see the rates. All with that. Find out the rates. Seen they were making $150 an hour just to sit out there, and they was out there 3-4 days continuously. Seeing that they were hauling 30-40 mile runs for $800 to $1,000, sometimes $1,200 at that time. And they was doing, when we were rolling, they were doing 3 to 4 of them, same trucks. So I'm watching them do 18 to 20 grand a week. And they smiling. That's why they've been smiling over there barbecuing.
And they going home on the weekends. They going home every night.
They out there. They out
there.
They
out there with y'all too. Okay.
They gonna grind that whole well. If we out there a month, they out there. They grinding, but they happy. So I said, I wanted to do trucking. I was gonna go buy a truck with that $20,000 I invested in my janitorial business. But God said, you was gonna go out here with this open road, and you ain't gonna be in nobody's niche.
Pause for a second.
So he took me through an L.
Wait, well, no. We gonna stop for a minute, man, because you're saying something that somebody needs to harp on. It's a lot of people that have an idea of what it is that they want to do, but like my partner used to say, you on the right track, you just on the wrong train. You get delayed for a reason, because if you jump into this right now, it's really not going to work for you. Or you put your hand out there and they get burned. That's not to get you to stop putting your hand out there. That's to get you to adjust. And many times we can't even see the destruction ahead. We can't even see the disaster that's coming. But that patience, that failure, those mistakes will reset you. And a lot of people don't take those resets as an opportunity to go back at it just with a different approach, but more so they take it as, well, maybe this wasn't meant for me.
Rejection is protection. Every seed sown again is a seed that's gonna harvest one day. So you getting rejected right here, that means that's not the play. I done been literally lost a well, and out of 3-4 days, I got 20-30 people I gotta allocate and put somewhere. Boom, when something else happened. But I never stopped hustling. See, because I got something, that don't mean, I don't believe that that's all. Like, right now I got 2 solid contract on 2 wells right now. One in East Texas, one in West Texas. But my mind is, I still want to hustle the other stuff. I'm believing for another contract that's not there.
You're not getting content.
I don't even see it. I don't even see the contract. I don't know where it's coming from. Just like I didn't know this the second one was coming. Because the second one, I had another one. And I lost that one because of bad drivers. But as soon as I lost it, this one opened up. And it was supposed to open up before that one. But I would have placed the wrong people over there. So it's like, you got rejection is protection, bro. It's protection.
The people that need to get that are going to get that. And the people that don't need to get it, they weren't going to get it anyway. Man, let's transition, because I know we'll stay here for a minute, because I'm super fascinated about your progress. But trucking really changed your life, and it not only changed your life, but it changed your family's life.
Yeah, it retired my mother. It made my brother, which was a brilliant, work for a top Fortune 500, top 13 company. It made him think about entrepreneurship. He decided to be an entrepreneur. He got a dentist. You know, it allowed numerous of my friends and partners to eat. It allowed a lot of people to be inspired and eat and do the same thing.
You've employed a lot of people. Yeah, and what I noticed about you, one of the reasons I really rock with you a lot is because I feel like in that aspect we think alike, because before we go out looking for somebody, we'll find the people around us and say, here's the opportunity. It's up to you to take advantage of it. And you've had people close to you really take advantage in a positive way of the opportunity you're giving them. Like you said, your brother, you have your uncle, you got your partner at your shop. Your mom worked for you, man. You retired your mother, man. And I got an opportunity to meet your mom. She stole the show at your event. Sorry, man.
Cool.
Mama had everybody.
She's a star.
But I'll put a period right there. You really changed people's lives, like the trajectory of their lives forever.
I mean, that's through like not being like just being selfless. But being you have to be selfish with your dreams though, because people will always like throw their insecurities on you. Like I only share my like thoughts and stuff with certain people that I know I can trust that are gonna pour into me, and I'm gonna pour back into them.
People are dream killers, man.
Well, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their own damn self. So how the hell they gonna believe in your dream? That's why you don't hate or wait on them. They don't believe in their own damn self. You can't be pouring to somebody that don't believe in themselves. So that's why they don't believe in themselves. So why would they? How the hell they gonna believe in you if they don't believe in themselves, bro?
Why don't we say that out loud enough? Like, why do we tiptoe around that? Why do we tiptoe around the fact that you can't tell everybody your dreams? You can't expect I always say you can't convince the wrong people to do the right thing. Like, why do we tiptoe around that as a culture, if you will, as a society, and just say, hey, this ain't gonna be a good look for you, man?
We can't tell most of the people in our culture our dreams because most of our people come from a scarcity mentality. Yeah. So if I'm the first to do something, how the hell I'm gonna believe for $100 million and you believing for that? He might just want $100,000. How the hell you get to believe for that? Like, and people hate that boldness. They hate that. They hate that boldness. They hate that. You can
that audacity shit.
The shit you can't teach. That's what that is. It's the shit you can't teach.
I call it the it factor when I'm talking to the boys. You know, some people have it and some people don't. And when I notice a person, I don't know, for some reason, I'm always attracted to people who have it. Yeah. You can't substantiate it. You can't measure it. You can't even explain it. But when you see it, you know what the fuck it is. Yeah. And in people, you can walk into a room. I tell my son this all the time. I said, a person who's about their shit can spot a bullshitter a mile away. Because you can only pretend to be something or someone for so long before eventually you're going to miss a step. And that step ain't going to be no small step. It's going to be a crucial step in the process. Like, how the fuck is he saying or she's saying that they this? But they don't do that. And in social media, that's what we get a lot of. And that's what this platform is about. This platform is to eradicate people from that, because the culture that we know is literally the only blueprint we have. But like you said, you got people operating in a scarcity mindset who ain't never seen what that looks like. If you say, man, we trying to make 100 million, I'm good with 100,000, because that's too far out their comfort zone. But your comfort zone is set at a different level because you have it.
You can't hang around him either. Can't. If I'm trying to make 100 million, I can't hang around a dude that wants to end at 10. Cause he gonna
Whoa! Say that again. Say that again.
If I'm trying to do 100 million, I can't hang around a guy with his goal that said is at 10 million. I can't hang around him either. Cause he gonna like make me get comfortable. He comfortable. He rich as hell. He comfortable. He ain't tripping. I want 100 million though. He cool. He cool with his 10. He hit that 10. Now our conversations are more or less, let's go over here and spend money instead of let's strategize. We let's get this 100 million. We got 90 more. We gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Our conversations, hey man, I bought you a roll. Like no, bro, I don't need that.
Damn, bro. Like,
you know,
that's gonna be. That's a bar. Damn, that's a bar.
You can't, bro.
You said if I'm hanging around, if my goal is 100 million. I can't even hang around a dude whose goal is 10 million, because the conversation ain't gonna be the same. He's gonna be content with that 10 million. That's enough for him, but that's not enough for me. That's not even the tip of the iceberg for me. And by sitting around in this situation with a person that's content like that, it's gonna cause me to not be able to achieve what I was destined to be here for. Man, I ain't never heard nobody say that shit like that.
I mean, that's why you can't hate or wait on them, bro. You can't hate on wait on them. I just realized in life, like even I just lost my mother 3 months ago, and life ain't gonna hate or wait on you. You know, once I seen my mama so strong, and God gave me the grace to see. He gave us grace where she just leave abruptly. But I got to see time like going down. You know?
Saw that transition.
Yeah, and so when you see that, you know that you can't take none of this with you, or you can't take it for granted either, right? Because tomorrow it could be your last day, and
that's deep.
That's just what it is. That's the truth, and you got to kind of see that in the spiritual realm. And I think a lot of people don't really they're not tapped into who they are inside, and that's the main problem. You're trying to be somebody else that's already trying to be somebody else.
Whoa. You said you trying to be somebody else that's already trying to be somebody else. What you mean by that?
Like, you think he's you trying to be him. He already trying to be somebody. He looking at somebody else he trying to be. He probably not even being who he is, So you get caught up in the losing identity in people that don't really hold you no value. So social media is a good platform to give our people I think put your eyes into thinking different, because all we had is rap. That's all we had to teach us anything, damn thing, really, if you think about it. Yeah, man.
And the rap game and athletes fucking failed us, bro.
No, it ain't that they failed us. We just white people gonna invest in me and you to show our people a better way? No, we just now this social world is like the new revolution to give our people more access to a lot of stuff. Because I don't know about a lot of real estate stuff, but I can call you. I can go buy a course now. Or I can buy. If I don't know about certain things, I go buy it now.
This is a show about culture. You know how I feel about the OGs and all that shit. You don't think that the perception that was projected through the rap game and through the street niggas and through the hood niggas and through even athletes that amass millions of dollars but get on TV and they throw up gang signs and act like real niggas, you don't think that's fucked us over? And I'm on the record.
I'm gonna call African American an experiment first. It ain't got no culture, no real foundation. Yeah. So when something can manipulate, anything can manipulate that.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't really just say it messed us over, because anything can manipulate that. I love what I see with Dion doing. I'm loving the athletes. It's certain rappers that are businessmen now. They were rappers and they businessmen. I think it's been able to shine a light on us, and with our scarcity mindset that we already operate in, and all the other plays that them put in front of us. It ain't like we ain't been an experiment to this coach, this African American.
That's a
ain't
good.
Like we in an experiment, bro. We ain't got culture to say, okay.
That's a good way. I can receive that.
So we all in a kind of like a mixing pot of what they put together. And so
we also have choices too, right? Like the criticism that people say about me is that I'm blaming people and I should be able to do my own thing, in which I do my own thing. But I feel like within this culture, we can't criticize the shit that shines a negative light on us. Like, let's talk about it from a business standpoint. In this interview, you said that you got to leave certain people behind. You can't fool with everybody. Everybody's on the same page. That's how I feel about the culture. That's how I feel about when I see people who continuously perpetuate the negativity. Like, okay, you sold dope. All right, my nigga, you hit some licks. All right, you a street nigga. Okay, cool. What next, man? Like, at some point in the game, how do I get you out of that world and into Marcus's world where you can legitimately own a business that feeds 20, 40, 60, 120 people? And I just feel like that this culture doesn't promote that whatsoever. It promotes our ignorance.
Okay, I feel like money had to be put behind that, though.
So what do you mean by that?
I feel like that's our agenda. Somebody put money behind that to get that in my face. Now, since the pandemic, education, knowledge of our people, you really don't have a big excuse. I can look at it from a standpoint of your son and how this movement is going right now. It's affecting them. Yeah. Not anybody 35 or 30. Like, that is done. Like, you can't even, if they can't catch that and turn it around themselves, brother.
It's a wrap.
I'm not even dealing with that. Like, okay. I don't even want you. I will go meet kids with you all day. I'm not going to meet no nigga 35. Like, why? What are we talking about? Like, seriously. Like, so when you think about that, that's where I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But in a longevity wise, I always like to look forward. Yeah, I see what you're doing, and you're bringing light to the youth, so they can go. They have a choice now. They have no choice. They was hood niggas grow up because the music there. They don't have no choice. So what's happening now
I can
is a
that.
light shed.
I can receive that,
which I appreciate. You know, I appreciate when you say certain things because it needs to change. Because what they hearing in this music, it ain't lining up with what real life is.
Nah, I saw something the other day. I was watching a clip from an interview with Joe Budden podcast, I think it was. And Jadakiss and his dad were on there. And Jadakiss' dad just started spilling all the beans. He's like, yeah, man, he didn't tell you he grew up in a 2-parent home and went to private school and was just saying all this shit. And he was like, oh, Dad, you put me out there. And Joe Budden was like, damn, we didn't know that. And I thought to myself, God damn, like this nigga been teaching us to be hood niggas, street niggas. And this nigga had all the fucking stability in the world. Wait. And you said there's an agenda. But let me ask you something. And this is just a real question. I'm not going to negate the agenda because I believe that whenever there's an opportunity to market destruction, it will always be done. But let me ask you this. If a company came along that you knew wasn't about shit, offered you the money to make that $100 million, would you take it?
No. Like, what do you mean I knew?
If you knew that the end goal of this company was to destroy everyone that looked like you, and you would be the only person left to represent what the new look looks like. No. Why wouldn't you?
That's like some sucker shit, bro.
Okay.
I sell out. But also, my mama raised me a certain way too.
There we go.
I have a foundation too to identify that. Somebody that's operating a full scarcity mindset, come from nothing. Can they really accept that like I can see it? You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Think about the rappers that are taking these deals. They probably from the projects. Now tell me in the projects where he can see that. Or you're operating the wisdom of that. There's no love there. You know and I know there's no love there.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. And this is why this is the new culture. This is why what we're doing right now, it has to replace, not intertwine, not commingle, not say, hey, let's work together. No, fuck that. We have to completely eradicate ourselves from that fuck shit because it's detrimental literally to our survival, bro.
Yeah, I was at a Lil Baby concert, bro, December for my birthday, and before he came out, the younger ones were out, and I then walked out because I was like, I can't do this. This is like all they talking about shooting each other.
Drill music.
All they talking about shooting each other. Like I don't even understand that. Yeah. Like when I grew up, it was about getting money and finding a beautiful creation God killed. You know what I'm saying?
You know the foundation was get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas. We didn't kill niggas as much as we got high, got drunk, and fuck bitches.
Money and have more women.
Somebody said our music was about the drug sales. They music about doing drugs. You know, our music was
they music about spinning the block.
Yeah, like, man.
They gonna spin the block.
The entire block.
So well, I understand the concept of spinning the block, bro. I'm like, okay, so you shot it up once. So you come back. Like, what kind of mess is that, bro?
Man, but that's the reality, though.
Like, so so we have to be, because the record labels, they are selling a product of destruction. Now they they
put a black face in the head of these record labels, though.
It's still, I don't mean nothing, you know.
It do. Let me tell you why. Because when you and I go to a school, when Tim and Marcus walk into a school, Tim and Marcus are two successful business owners, 7-figure earners. We can literally buy whatever we want to right now. If Tim and Marcus individually want to take our families on a vacation to Florida or Hawaii or wherever the fuck we want to go on a Tuesday, we can make that happen, right? That's wealth. Rich is flashy, wealth is quiet. We got to walk in there and do a song and dance to get people to understand who we are. And if we walk in there just like this, it's like we have to convince them that we come in peace and that we really trying to help them. Whereas, you know, you get a person that gets the platform, like an athlete or a rapper, they can walk into a school and command the attention. Then when you ask the kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an athlete. I want to be a rapper. And listen, I'm not saying that they don't have or possess the mental capacity or the drive to become that. But what else do you want to be? Like, why is it that when we go to schools, when I specifically walk into a school, I was at a school yesterday, 80%, 85% black school. Everybody want to hoop. Everybody want to, you know, and we have access to information now. Everybody want to hoop. Everybody want to rap. It's like, all right.
Because their parents are our age.
Yeah.
Some of them didn't necessarily become entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So, and that happened before the app too. So when you look at it all, what we're doing now, and I hate to say it, what we're doing post pandemic. It didn't even happen before the pandemic. We had the pandemic was the best thing for our culture because it allowed us to network. It allowed information to be freely sold, and it created this knowledge thirst for our people that we need.
I agree with you. I feel like the pandemic exposed a lot of the fuck shit that we call culture. And it also provided an avenue for that kid that's sitting at home or even that adult who's tired of their situation to say, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I can get in the trucks? You mean to tell me I can start a real estate business? You mean to tell me all it takes is for one property for me to become an investor that changed the trajectory of my family life? You mean to tell me that all this stuff is within reach?
But you know, one thing I think, like reading like the book Think and Grow Rich, I think that's a dire need for our culture because it took the world to slow down for y'all to see trucks was already here. Like I've been in trucking for a long time. I've been seeing this for a minute. It took the world to slow down for us to say, I need to think about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Or a businessman.
I didn't realize. I realized as a kid how many trucks there were. We would be going back and forth to East Texas, West Texas, South Texas to visit family members in prisons, and that's all you would see on the road. That's all you would see on the road. Or like if we would go out of town on a field trip with the school. At some point again, you know, when we used to kind of do this right here to the truckers. At some point again, it just got old because all we saw was trucks. But people don't equate that to the economy.
Well, see, I learned in Think and Grow Rich. I found my gift. I'm visual. I can see stuff and make it happen. I swear to you, I can do this. I do it all the time.
I don't disagree. No, I do the same thing.
I didn't even know how to drive a truck too. And I told my partner, go get your license for diesel mechanic. I'm gonna have a shop one day.
And you got it.
And that happened. It manifested, bro. So it's like once you start seeing it, you're like, oh, this ain't no coincidence.
It becomes easy too.
It ain't no coincidence. So then you start demanding it. I just told my customer last night. I said, hey, I need to add 2 more trucks to this project, and I need a 3-year contract on this. I said, I'm already saving you money more than other guys, and I'm reliable, and you've been with me since 2019. I said, and I get it done for you. You know that. And he know that. And he said, Marcus, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna work that out. I'm gonna get that up. I'm gonna get that to you. Now, I didn't just go take this man to the game so he can have fun. I exactly knew what I wanted, and I knew how to attack it. And then I found some stuff he liked, and I know I'm gonna get it now. I know I'm already manifesting to get it. You know why? Because I found something that was worth more than the money that he wants. It's easy. It's not like that hard. Like, I mean, you gotta you gotta believe that shit first.
Man.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta believe you can go do that first. I haul plastic for Niagara, Nestle, Coke, Amcor. Amcor does Walmart plastic materials. A lot of stuff that you go get at the food market that's in the plastic wrappers. I haul the beginning product. I'm not in really like the trucking. I'm in a more raw good service niche. Let's
segue there because we finna wrap it up. You are getting ready to put out some information and some tools to people so they can learn about what it is you're doing. Talk briefly about that. Because we don't want to spill the beans. We want them to come follow you and see what you're about.
I already have a course.
Okay.
I've created about 200 people, 300 people, knowledge for the information in the oil field. I got guys that got 40 trucks. I've got people that found other people in the oil field and they're growing their fleets with them. I also have a couple buddies that I know that I have helped and employ them in getting to the oil and gas field. They're right out the pen. And some that never even seen the pen just don't have the direction. I've seen what the oil and gas done to my family and my life, and so with my story and what I've already done, I'm able to find and channel that and help other people now. That's my purpose for 2023.
That's dope. And you got some big things coming out where you can actually teach people this stuff, correct?
Yeah. Right now, I have a course that teaches how for a trucking company to get in the oil and gas industry. Now we're taking that to a whole nother level. We got a whole bunch of stuff we're rolling out here in March, 1st of March. So we got a lot of stuff we're doing to empower and employ other people and sow spiritual seeds. So if I help you get a job and it's not even my job and I'm not making no money and you start to benefit that and your family starts to make money and everything starts to go good for you, that's a spiritual seed. I'm going to get what I want regardless. I just got to manifest it now. And he's going to just line it up. He gonna line it. I swear he gonna line it up. It happens all the time, bro.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I can't wait to work with you on that. I can't wait to, sit down and iron out some ways that we can bring people together.
Yeah, we got to.
The people that want it. Like I said, I'm not convincing the wrong people to do the right thing anymore. But what I learned through my manifestation was that once I start writing out my goals, and I've always done this, one of the books that I contribute a lot of my success to is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, which he references Think and Go Rich in there. It's a part of the reading list. Yeah. But literally, me and my family are going through a 60-day reading of that right now. We set our goals, put pictures to our goals. We read them 3 times a day. We listen to them. We listen to the book, 2 chapters a day on the book. It's 64 chapters, sometimes 3 chapters. But every day we write out our goals. We read them. When me and my son go to the gym every morning at 4:15 in the morning, every morning. As I work out. And I got to give you your props, man. Kudos to you. You actually was one of the reasons I got back into the gym. Cool. But what I learned is that through the manifestation, through actually putting my goals on paper, by reading them every day, by including people that actually are part of this, like my wife and my son, now I know their goals because we read them together. So situations have come up within the last 3 days where somebody posted something on Facebook. I commented, my wife has a course about that. The person hit me up, man, oh my God, I've been looking for people who have a course. I sent it to my wife, you better get that course finished. You know what I'm saying? Like, her goal was to get a course and get it done in a couple of weeks. She gonna have it done this week. And it's like with my son, going to school every day, his whole outlook on life has changed based on just the manifestation of knowing that he has a goal to hit a certain number financially as a 13-year-old. So when he comes home, his whole conversation is different. And I feel like because of that, bro, I literally think about something and then my phone rings.
That's real.
I literally think about, like, even with you, the day you called me about this whole trucking course and what you want to do with the offenders, I said, bro, you called me at I'm literally working on something right now, helping this dude in prison, write his book right now. And you calling me about this.
Yeah, because I was manifesting.
That's what it is.
You manifest these things, and then God, you be patient with it. He'll send it your way.
Well, man, listen, I'm super proud of you. I've worked with you personally with the event for the kids. We're going to do some more stuff with the kids this year. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to seeing what you have for the 18-year-old boys that's graduating high school and the people that's coming home, kind of bridging those worlds together from a standpoint of creating an economy for people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because in 2023, it's not about anything but creating that economy. And you said something when you were speaking. You said you just got to outwork people. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting sleepy around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but understanding I still got a few more hours to go, bro. When I tell you I've been outworking people so hard this last couple of weeks, man, because I know what's going to come to me. And I promise you, every time I find myself going that extra mile, it brings me more income.
When you think about like the outwork, like seeing me and I think my loss recently had got me to understand this. You got a purpose, I got a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You got a time you leave, I got a time I'm leaving. So really, do you want to get to the next life and you could have done all this, but you bullshitted or you procrastinated, and he showed you what you could have really did, and he showed you how many people you did infect because you was bullshit. No, so that's why you gotta outwork the man in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? That's who really.
It's the only competition.
That's really the only competition, because once you realize the shit you want, some people don't even care about that, and if you become the person you need to be, God gives the increase, and He's gonna bring the people to
the people that you need to meet. It's like they magically drop out of the sky, bro. Like literally.
It's all in your manifestation.
Man,
the man thinks he is.
Man, we gonna wrap up on this note.
Make it plain. I mean, he telling you all that word, giving you all the game.
Let me tell you, I met my brother for the first time about 3 years ago. Me and him went to go grab some, something to eat at this little bar. At the bar was a group of women, and so they were like, hey, you guys live around here, yada, yada. You know how it be at the bar. Yeah. And I was like, no, we just met my brother, yada, yada, yada. And they weren't trying to holler and do all that shit. They were just really genuinely having conversations. One lady within the group was like, yeah, I'm getting ready to move to Vegas, blah, blah, blah. I said, I have a sister out there, man. We just kind of talked. I said, well, add me on social media. Let's just stay connected, right? Yeah. Because you know how you can always tell that, one person in the group that's about something. Mm-hmm. Bro, fast forward to the last 3 months. This person has hit me up with opportunities for speaking engagements for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. connecting me with different CEOs, connecting me with different situations that's going to multiply my net worth by 10, 15, bro.
And did it require money?
It didn't require any money at all. All it required was me saying, this is what I want to do. But I say that to say this. A lot of times what you need will literally fall in your lap. You just have to believe that that's what that's for. You have to understand that once you think it, once you speak it, it's going to come. And too often, we do it with everything else we don't need. Like, if we see some girl we want to get with, man, I want to get that. You think about smashing her all day long. Eventually, you get with her, you knock it off the box. Then you realize, oh, that ain't what I really wanted, right? Or you, man, I want to get this new car. You get the car, then you realize that's not what I really wanted. I want to go on this vacation. You get there, the vacation ain't shit. If it works for that shit,
that's all flesh too.
It literally works for everything else.
That's all flesh.
That's all flesh.
That's all what you satisfy your flesh in that area.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the problem. We want to satisfy. Like, that's where you gotta be patient with stuff. Like,
yeah,
you really gotta be patient. Like, your dreams are really important, and you can't fuck them up either. You gotta be patient, bro. Like, that's what I'm learning. Like, more and more. The more I'm patient, he send the right people. The more I hurry, he send the wrong people. I go through some shit. I take some punches in the face.
Let's wrap it up right there, man. Where can they find you?
They can find me at Blue Collar CEO on IG. They also can find me at bluecollaraccelerator.com. But most of this through IG.
Well, man, I appreciate you for coming, man. It's always good to sit down and talk to you. We're going to sit down again. Everybody, do me a favor. All of his information is below in the show notes. Be sure to follow him on all social media networks. Get tapped in. Check out his courses. Go back and watch all the episodes that you haven't watched. Get caught up and listen, you all. We are the culture. We have to start creating what we want to see, what we want to be through manifestation, through belief, through knowing that you have that power. That's how you can create change. That's all I got for you today. It's your man, Tim Jackson, Mr. No More OGs. I'll see you soon.